Hi everybody, I am here to talk to you today about objective number 4, which is to find the equation of a line. All right, so I have 4 problems here. So what we're going to do is we're going to work with each one, but what I would really like you to do is pause the video before I go through each one. Whoops. And then go ahead and see if you got the answer right. All right, let's zoom in and make this a little bit bigger here. All right, hope that's nice and clear. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. Here's our first problem. Now what I'd like you to do is try to figure out the answer on your own. It should look like this. Y equals mx plus b. Each one of your answers should be in this format. Okay? The most simplified version of this format. If you're in Miss Simus's class, you will get marked down if it's not in the most simplified version. If you're in Mr. Bonnefeld's class, he will not mark you down. If you are in Miss Elwood's class, I don't know what she is planning. So when all else fails, go with the most simplified version, because better safe than sorry. All right, go ahead and pause now and try to solve. All right, so I'm assuming you all took a second. So here's how I would solve this one. First thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick 2 points. Now, a lot of you have really struggled with this, so let me try to explain. Do you see the corners of all these boxes right here? You have to pick a point that's on the corner of one of these boxes. But it can't be any corner like this one. It needs to be on a corner, but also touching this line. Do you see how this point right here, how the line comes through and it just misses this spot? I can't use that one. It's not right on the corner. But this one right here, it hits directly through. I can use this point. Of course, this is cheaty a little bit because it's already giving me a point, but that's why there's a point here and not here. And certainly not here or here. These are all in the middle of boxes. None of them work, okay? But this one works great. Now, I also need a second point. And because I like to do less work, because I'm lazy, I like looking at this y-intercept here. And I see there's a point right there. So I am going to go ahead and I'm going to make my triangle. I'm going to go up and then over. And because I like to use colors, I'm going to go up in pink. And I'm going to go over in blue, so it's really easy for somebody to see my colors. Okay, now when I'm going up in pink, I'm going to count these boxes. Here's 1, here's 2, here's 3. There are 3 boxes going up. So my first number when I am talking about my slope is going to be a 3. 3 over something. I don't know that something yet. Now I'm going to count these boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 boxes here. So that means that my run, my bottom number, is going to be 4, sorry. 3 over 4. Okay? Now the next piece of information that I'm going to look for is going to be my y-intercept. My y-intercept is going to be wherever this red line is crossing this y-axis. And that happens to be right here at this point. This is my y-intercept. Okay? I didn't write down my 4 here, you guys. My bad. Okay. All right. Now, what do I do with all this information? All right, now I'm going to put this all together. Now remember I told you everything has to be in that y equals mx plus, I picked a poor spot to put that in, plus b format, right? Here, let me write this down really quick. Here's my 3 right there. And there's my 4. All right, cool beans. All right, so now let's write this down. Now in my y equals mx plus b format, what I'm gonna do is I am gonna hang on to a couple pieces of information. First one is the y. That's gonna stay here. It's not going anywhere. I'm also gonna keep the x, and that's it. Everything else I'm gonna fill in. Now this m, that's the same thing as my slope. This guy right here. So I'm gonna keep that. Now I know I can't break down 3/4 any more simple. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put that in right here. Here's my 3/4. Okay? And then next I've got my y-intercept right here. Does everybody see what number that is? If I get real close, see that's a -2. Says so right there. So then instead of plus b, I'm gonna write -2. And that, my friends, is my final answer. This is the answer that I am going to put on my paper. And to show my work, this is what I'm gonna write down on my test. So Miss Simus or Mr. Bonnefeld or Miss Elwood is gonna know that I know what I'm doing, and that's gonna help me get that 4. Okay? All right, let's try another one. All right. How about this one? This one's even smaller. Long story about the small things. Okay, so now remember, when I write my answer, it's gonna be in that y equals mx plus b format. Does that fit? Yep, it does. Okay, go ahead and pause now. See if you can get the answer right. All right, let's see if you guys got it. Okay, the first thing that I'm gonna do is let's go ahead and write down that slope. I know it's gonna be rise over run. Okay. Oh, look, this one doesn't have those pretty points on it, so I'm gonna have to find my own. It looks like this is a really good point. Nice and clean. And it looks like this is a really good point too. Well, that was easy. Nice and close together. Okay, so I'm just gonna go up 1 box and I'm gonna go over 1 box, which means my rise over run is a super easy 1 over 1. Okay, now again, we want the most simplified version. Now, if I were to type in 1 divided by 1 on my calculator, it's gonna tell me that the answer is, surprise, surprise, 1. So let's make this a little more simplified. This is going to equal 1. Okay? Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All right, so let's type in. Here's our y equals. I'm gonna put my m in. Here's my x, and that's all that I'm keeping. My m is my slope, remember? So I'm gonna put a 1 here. And then for my b, oh my gosh, you guys, I forgot to look for my b. Shoot. I totally did not do that on purpose. I really did forget about it. Well, let's go see if we can find it. See that number right here? We'll use that same exact spot. There's my y-intercept. Looks like that's going to be a -3. So again, -3. Pretty simple. Now, oh, sorry about that. He didn't get to see. There, -3. Now, if I wanted to make this even more simplified, I could actually take that 1 and I could just leave it out and have x -3, which means exactly the same thing. So either of those answers would be 100% correct. All right, let's give another one a shot. See if we can go a little faster. All right. This one's got dots again. Maybe I should have done these in a different order. All right, make it a little bigger for you. Okay, remember, y equals mx plus b. Pause to solve. All right, did you get an answer? All right, let's go ahead and give this a try. So since these dots are so nicely provided for me on these little corners here, I guess I'm gonna pick, I'll pick this one and this one. I don't usually go for that one, but I thought I would give it a try. Now remember, if you pick different points than me, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which points you pick. It only matters that they're nice, clean points. And here's my triangle. It's very important that my triangle is only made up of 2 straight lines, none of that diagonal business. I'm going up 1, and I'm going over 1, 2, 3 boxes. So I'm going over 3. I'll write it down here because it's the only space I have room. So here's my 1 that I went up, and my 3 that I went over goes right there. All right, not going to forget my y-intercept this time. Here is my y-axis, and here is my y-intercept, right here. Okay, so what number is this, you guys? All right, let's fill in all of our information. Sorry, I didn't mean to shake like that. All right, so I'm going to keep my y. Y equals something x. And I've got my handy dandy (1 over 3) x, and then my y-intercept is +1. There we go. And that's my answer. Okay. Now, actually, I'm not going to take this one away. Let's try this exact same one, but I'm going to pick 2 different points. 2 different points that are a little bit further apart. What if I picked this point here and this point way over here? Now, if you've been working with me in the back, you know that I always say pick 2 points that are close together. Well, sometimes we don't notice 2 points that are close together and we end up going a little further apart. It doesn't matter what 2 points you pick, but it is important that you pick 2 good ones. Okay, so now let's see what happens if we do it this way. So now I'm going up 1, 2 boxes. So this is a 2. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes. 2 over 6. Okay, now I hear you saying right now, but you said I can pick whatever points I want, and it didn't matter. But I ended up with a totally different answer. How is that okay? Well, I'm going to show you right now. Okay, so I got 2 over 6, right? So this is what Miss Imus was talking about when she wanted it in the most simplified version. Now, is there a number that I can divide both 2 and 6 by? The answer is yeah. I can divide both of these by 2. So if I divide this by 2 and divide this by 2, what do I get? Well, 2 divided by 2 is 1. And then if I take 6 and I divide that by 2, guess what I get? 3. So that's where that simplified version comes in. If you pick 2 points that are close together, you don't have to do this step. But if you make bigger triangles and have them more spread apart, you have to reduce it so you get that same answer. That's why it's good to pick points that are really close together. All right, let's go ahead and let's try a different one. And then let's see if we can find one with no points on it. All right, this one looks pretty good. Let's try this one. Okay, nice and clear. Good. All right, again, let's make sure we have that y equals mx plus b answer. All right, so now this time, let's try something a little bit different when it comes to picking our points here. Now, what I want to do is I'm just going to look for 1 point. Let's take this point. That's a nice clear point. Now to make sure I get the closest point, I'm just going to take my pen and I'm going to run it up this line, and I'm just going to look for the first time that I'm touching a corner. And that's right here. That means these 2 points are as close together as they can get. This guy got close. This guy got close, but this is the only one with a clean point. So I'm not going to have to reduce using these 2 points. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. Oh, I didn't tell you to pause. All right, pause now. I bet you can find the answer. Careful, this one's a little tricky. Okay, here we go. First, we're going to go down this time. Usually I have to go up, but today I'm going to go down. And then we're going to go over. We always want to go to the right, if at all possible. Up and down, and then to the right. All right, how many boxes did we have to go? Here's 1, 2. We had to go 2. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we went 5. So, let's write down our answer. I went down 2, and then I went over 5. Now, here's the tricky part that you might have forgotten. I told you that I went down, right? If I look at this line and I read it, the same way that I would read a book, from this way down, if I run my pencil across it, I'm obviously going down, right? This line is going down. I can't read it this way because I live in America, not in Japan. In Japan, you might read this way, but that's not how we roll. We have to read it this way. This line is going down. This line is going down. When lines are going down, we indicate that by saying that it's negative. Just like when your grades go down, it's bad. When lines go down, it's negative. Okay? All right. Next thing, let's find that pesky y-intercept. Here's our axis. These two are meeting nice and clean right here. Look, there's my number. Y-intercept. I think I might be running out of ink. Oops. I hear Poly Club outside. Okay, so let's go ahead now that I have these numbers and let's plug them in. Y equals something x plus b. Okay, so I've got -2 over 5. And I know those two dots are close together, so I'm not going to do any better than that. So -2, and here's my 5. That is a terrible 5, but you guys all know what it says. There's our x we already talked about, and there is our +3. There we go. All right, I don't have an example with this being a negative, so I want to talk about it really quick. If this same exact line had been moved down here, and this was my starting point, then that's when this would change to a negative, and then it would be -3. But it's not, it starts way up here. So it's +3. Okay, I hope this was helpful. I know Miss Simus's friends have a test tomorrow, so I hope that we're okay. And good luck on your test. If you have any questions, you know where I am. Come find me. Bye, you guys. See you tomorrow.